officers and all that. See, when I had her designated as the official spokesperson for the county. Like I said, that I haven't.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's now 5:30. I'd like to call the March 23rd Calhoun County Council meeting to order. Ms. Would you give us a occasion, please?
All right, let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together. We ask for wisdom and guidance as we discuss the matters of the county. Amen.
Amen. Motion for approval of the agenda, March 23rd agenda.
So moved. Second.
I'll be moving second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Richard, do you have anybody with public comments?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, we got Jacob here.
Mr. Hare.
Good afternoon, Chair, Councilman, citizens. I usually not get into stuff like this.
Mr. Hare, would you please give us your address and
Okay,
your name?
my name is Jacob here. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
I'm Jacob here. My address, 203 Pooh Street, St. Matthews, South Carolina. We had a function at the park here, at the arena here on Saturday and Sunday. And I got a bunch of phone calls Saturday and said, hey, Jacob, we need to take a look at what's going on there. So Saturday I had some stuff to do. I was to look at it and I did. So they kept calling me. So Sunday I told them, I said, listen, I'm not your council person. I'm not this yet. They said, no, we need to call you because you don't want to listen. So Sunday I got a phone call again about 9 o'clock. They said, Jacob, we need to come out and take a look. So I got clothes on and I went out there and looked. And what they was concerned about was the parking situation at the rec center. I mean, people was just everywhere. It was just, they had the front part of it blocked off so the people couldn't get on the sprinkler system, which I can understand. We can't tear the sprinkler system up. But it wasn't no control over what was going on with the parking situation. So I knew from last year, when talking with John, I knew that I'm on the phase 2, we probably gonna address that problem. But the event that they had on this weekend was massive. I mean, just, I asked some people that they had, some people came from Virginia. You had people there from Myrtle Beach. That's how big this function, this 6-on-6 football thing was. And it wasn't nobody from the county or nobody from the Open Rec Center. Seemed like they was in control of what was going on. And people just asked me, Jacob, so how do we come in, this, that, and the other? So I looked at the officers and I looked at the amount of people that's on it. They had 3 officers on duty, and they had 1 watching the gate, and they had 2 of them walking around for the crowd that we had. The major problem we had, if someone was, they had too many gates locked. Everything was locked. You only had 1 way in and 1 way out for all these people. That was just 1 gate. As I walked around and looked, I said, why are these gates locked? And they said, wait, that's what they wanted. I said, no, this, that, and the other. And I said I would come to council to address. And then when I did talk to a couple other people, they said they got some calls about it too. But I just wanted council to know what went on this weekend at that sports complex, because a lot of people came, and it was good for the county. I mean, we got a lot of people who came into and seen what St. Matthews was about, see what our county about, and see what our complex was about, because it's an outstanding facility. But the organization and the control of it wasn't good enough for, because the people was just, they didn't know where to go, where to park, where to get up, what to do, or this, that, and the other. And then they kept making announcements about, well, we need to keep the place clean up and this, that, and the other. A lot of people came and said, well, hey, maybe the next time when they rent it out, maybe put it in agreement that they have to clean up, or it'll be part of the bill where we have people to clean it up. But I just wanted y'all to be aware of it. So the next time, I know the next phase that we got coming up on that, it's gonna have something to do with parking. But for right now, to address these problems, maybe the next big function that we have out there, we walk out there and take a look and really see who's actually.
Mr. Hare, we have 3 minutes for the public hearing now. But I appreciate you bringing that to council, and the council will take it under advice. We appreciate that.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Under approval, next is the approval of the minutes, March 9th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any additional corrections? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Got a committee report from the Economic Development Corporation. Richard, you and John want to?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, so today, before the council meeting, we had advertised an Economic Development Corporation meeting to go over several items, get an update on what's going on in the industrial parks. And we had one action item, which was to approve a wastewater study for the upper portion of the county. The Economic Development Corporation recommended to approve that, and so that will be to pay for an engineering study to figure out how we're going to design and construct wastewater treatment plant updates in the upper part of the county, figure out how we expand the wastewater treatment plant that's behind the rest area to support development up there. And that's it. Well, one more thing, we did discuss potentially on April the 20th, doing another tour in the county to go look at some things. And so we'll follow up with council and finalize those arrangements and get together with you on that.
Okay. I don't have anything to add to that. I think, Cecil, you have anything?
No, sir.
We just would like to let you know that the Economic Development Corporation meetings are open to the public. So it was advertised as we should do, and it was open to the public. So the public is welcome to attend these meetings. Okay. Any other committee reports? Under appearances, we have Mr. Steve Blake, Fire Department audits. Mr. Blake.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, it's my privilege to report to you on the progress that you're making in the processes you've set in place to provide more accountability in the area of fire protection for the citizens of Calhoun County. One of the things we've done is, in my profession, what we call an agreed upon procedures engagement. I'm preparing a report for each fire department that we have looked at. And I'm going to bring details at the highlight level to you tonight. You will get copies of those finished reports when they're available. What you've done, in essence, is you're bringing some more accountability to the fire districts in Calhoun County, much like the 1% money is controlled at the state level. So you're putting more accountability, more controls in the area of fire protection, so that the money that the county is spending for fire protection is better accounted for. Prior to this, what you would do is you would give them allocations. They would run them through their operating bank account. You would approve all of the expenditures that came out of your allocations. But under this new process, you're actually funding them as if they were a department of the county, bringing them, so to speak, into the county. And in that way, there's more accountability, more procurement accountability, and more things like that. So what we are looking at is three primary areas. All of the accounts that each of these departments have, bank accounts, looking at their vehicles and equipment and readiness, and we're looking at the actual current status of the legal entity that is still out there after this process has been implemented. And I'm going to report to you tonight, like I say, in a draft format with the highlights. And hitting some of the highlights as we move into the bank accounts. Like the state checks up and audits every year the 1% money and approves that by state law to the approved fire departments in the area. We have gone in and looked at every bank account that they would be willing to allow us to look at. This is kind of a two-way street at this point. Many of the fire departments were very cooperative. They let us look at everything. We looked at the 1% money, which by law is theirs. It's not the county's. We can't do anything with that money. The state takes care of it. We've looked at the other operating accounts, which in the prior scenario is where they would deposit your allocations. And those allocations will go into that account along with anything else that they used in operations. Now that's going to be significant when we get to the legal status of the entities later. As we're looking at those accounts, we're getting balances at various points in time. So you've got a feel for the fiscal abilities of these fire departments to sustain themselves outside of your allocations and operations when you bring it in-house. Equipment and vehicles. We're looking at who they're titled to, how they're being insured, how much equipment they have, is it ready? And the county maintains lists before and after of all the vehicles. Very few of those vehicles were titled in the county name. Even though the county may have purchased those vehicles in the past, most of them are titled in each of these legal entities' names. The county maintains the insurance on them. And at this point, Richard, correct me if I'm wrong, but will the county be maintaining those vehicles through the budget allocations that are in the county budgets, right?
That's correct.
So they have the title, you're going to be maintaining and insuring those vehicles. The third item is the one that's the most interesting, and that is each of these entities, some in the 60s, some as late as the 90s, have been incorporated under the state not-for-profit laws. Each of these entities has its own board. It has its own board chair, fire chief, and treasurer. And what I found pretty much across the board is these entities have no idea the legal ramifications of having a not-for-profit organization, a not-for-profit corporation. The state has the Charitable Funds, Charitable Solicitation Act that they must comply with. If they obtained IRS 501c3 status, which is a very prestigious status to have, if I make a donation to a 501c3 corporation, I can deduct it on my taxes without any IRS argument. So if you obtain that, it's very precious to have. With that and the state solicitation laws, they have to maintain a certain level of reporting every year. We found one of the fire departments had done that up until 2016. There was a transition at the treasurer level and they ceased to do that. And their 501c3 status was revoked in 2020. These are separate legal entities from the county. The county has no responsibility for that, but these entities do in their reporting have certain penalties if they do not report. And so some of the things we're running into is, if I'd have known, this has been a very good education process for each of these entities. Now that they're learning, we're going back to them as part of this process and informing them of their duties. At this point, they're trying to scramble and find out. For instance, one or two of the fire departments got enough money in your allocation to them that triggered the level where they needed to file a 990 with the IRS. They did not do that. The penalty for not doing that is $10 a day for every day that you did not file. So that's roughly $3,650 a year. And the statute can be open as long as 7 years. That currently is what they would owe should something happen, should they end up being audited, which is rare, but it can happen. So the entities themselves do not have the necessary level of understanding of what it takes to maintain that entity. Whether they want to continue to maintain it is something I'm sure each one of them would want to make a decision. And that may be something that as this process unfolds, the county will end up having a report that could help them make a decision. But the benefit then of being an NPO under this current process becomes less and less valuable since you are running things through the county. And as a state entity, a county is already tax exempt. So that's taken care of by being part of the county. Any questions you might have?
Anyone have any questions yet, Mr. Blake?
No.
Oh, sorry.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Blake. Richard, anything you need to add to that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. So the reports that Mr. Blake was mentioning will get sent out to council tomorrow. There is information that he mentioned that most of the departments we were able to get the information from. We were not able to get all that information. It'll be in your report. The old Senior Run Volunteer Fire Department is communicating through their attorney on what they need to provide us and what they don't. Once you get the report, once Mr. Blake has wrapped up his piece, we anticipate that we'll have a meeting with the county attorney, Mr. Flynn, that handled the fire for us. As Steve mentioned, there's two kind of separate things. What's the county's legal necessary needed to do, but then the individual corporations have something that they're going to need to do. There's some things that they need to get straight with the IRS, Secretary of State, or other agencies. We'll package that up. We'll get the legal from our attorney. We may need to have a legal briefing with you guys on that with the attorney. If that's necessary, we'll do so. If he needs to do that, or if he needs to issue a memo, and then we'll figure out what the next step is that we need to do from there.
Mr. Chairman, I would say, as you know, in my other life as chairman of the board of Calhoun County Cares, we're a 501c3. And it happens that my wife is the treasurer. And I can tell you right now that filling out those reports, she spends sometimes 2 weeks. She is a trained accountant who was an accountant. She worked for Michael Moss. She worked for different legal firms. She worked for the school district for years as an accountant. And she can do that stuff in her sleep. And but she almost does it in her sleep because she is working hours and hours just on those reports. And I have wondered when I heard, I think Rebecca told me that some of them said they were 501c3s. Normally people don't volunteer for fire departments who have any type understanding of what the IRS expects on those reports. If I'm wrong, let me know back there, Mr. Auditor.
If I could clarify that, if you apply, and I'm not, first let me give you my caveats. I'm not an attorney, I don't give legal advice, but I do this a lot, so I kind of have an understanding. If you apply in the state of South Carolina for nonprofit status, that's the Secretary of State's office. They will give you a corporate charter. They accept all your bylaws. They approve it. They give you nonprofit status with this instruction. You're now a nonprofit entity. It carries certain responsibilities like the Solicitation Act. You must comply with that government law. You must comply with all IRS regulations and filings. Now, if you choose to get 501c3 status, stack of forms about that high you got to fill out, then you arrive at that level. And some of these entities have done that. And so they apply, they've gotten it. With that comes the responsibilities to file the 990. Now, you can also meet the state reporting requirements if you're nonprofit using an IRS 990, whether you have a 501c3 status or not. And if you are a not-for-profit, you generally will fill out the 990 anyway without the 501c3 status. It's my understanding that that status allows you to accept donations and the donor gets the tax deduction. With the IRS at the federal level, no arguments. Having said that, the reporting form, and it's an information because there's no tax, you're tax exempt. The reporting form is rather voluminous. Like you said, it takes hours and hours and hours to do and a certain level of expertise to do it. If you don't trigger the level of required filing, which is around, I think one of the firemen looked it up at one of the meetings. He said, oh, that level is, I think it was $50,000 now. It used to be 25. But if you receive $50,000 in monies running through your accounts, well, in some cases, the county allocation was that. So they triggered that level just getting the county's money. If they got $1 of anybody else's money, they should have filed the form. The entity that was actually complying up until 2016, they didn't reach that level. But at that point, you can file what they call a postcard return, just to say, hey, I'm out here, I'm not for profit, but I don't have to file. And you send that postcard in and you maintain your 501c3 status without having to fill out that voluminous form because you didn't trigger that dollar level. And they were sending that postcard in every year until 2016, and they just stopped that process. So then the IRS revoked their status after that. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's voluminous. It requires a certain level of expertise that maybe these entities don't have.
Yeah. Well, I just know that I've been begging my wife to give this thing up and let's put it in an accounting firm's hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And we're taking in $80,000 or $90,000 a year, and it'd be worth whatever it is to pay somebody to do that stuff.
Well, and in the case of one of the fire departments, who shall remain nameless at this point, there are 2 or 3 entities under their name at the state level and the federal level. So I don't know if they're filing 2 or 3 returns or what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, but there are 2 or 3 in that name at the
Like I
state
say,
level.
I know I have to live with her during those during those seasons when she's doing that, and it's like living with I don't know what, you know what I'm saying?
And $3,650 a year for at least 3 years, if not 7, for 2 or 3 entities, that gets into some, pretty soon you're into some real money.
Yeah, and that stuff's got to be accurate. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be audited and find out that you're
Well,
fudging the numbers or
the
whatever.
important thing for the information return, state law as well as federal, private annulment. Those entities, if they cease to function, once that entity ceased to function for its tax exempt status, which if it quit being a fire department, then it has a duty by law, state law, to turn over all of its assets to another entity like it, either another nonprofit, a state or county or municipal government. It has that duty. You can't take that stuff home. That's called private annulment. And the state and federal government, that's against the law.
Well, in the schools, it was called arbitrage when
That's another concept, yes.
I mean, when we would use monies and we could not make money on money, we could not compete with the banks, et cetera.
That came in with Reagan back in the 80s.
Yeah, and I know that the IRS would walk in and take that money in a heartbeat if they found out.
There are certain things the IRS takes a real dim view on, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Private annulment, they do not like that one little bit.
Well, that's what I say. So.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Blake, I think Mr. Carson answered.
Richard, from legal counsel for the fire departments, is it going to be their responsibility to get all this? Or are we going to have a meeting with the chiefs or commission to let everybody know where everybody stands on this? I mean, we haven't found out ourselves, but when we find out, are we going to try to help them along this way
So,
instead of being on a limb by themselves?
that is, you remember when Lawrence Flynn came and made a presentation, he told you guys that, look, there's a reason why this is happening all across the state. It's just, people are not generally set up to do this kind of work. And so we had a good idea. He told us that we were going to see a lot of this kind of stuff. This is exactly what was going to happen. And this is the reason why all across the state, this model is being gone to, and this is part of the reason why we wanted to do this. It wasn't about day-to-day operations. Now that Steve has made the presentation to you, you'll get the reports tomorrow. I've already talked with Lawrence Flynn and Steve. They're gonna get together and they are gonna make a recommendation to council on what, or Mr. Flynn is, on what the next step needs to be. And that's gonna involve a little bit about what can be done, okay? So what the fire department needs to do to be able to keep it, that's gonna be a decision on them because the county can't be responsible for like $10 a day. We can't do that. But is there an opportunity for us to help overcome that as we're moving forward and we're, becoming a better one-piece deal? I don't know that I'll caveat, I'm not an attorney, but the attorney will do that. We'll get something to council. Hopefully, you'll have the reports in the morning. We'll get that out. And then the next steps, we've already talked about what that's going to look like. And that'll be a legal brief for you guys from there. And then really that's going to be somewhat up to council to determine which there'll be a path forward, what it looks like. Would be a little bit up to council to determine what that looks like and what the options are going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Thank
you. Okay, we have a resolution honoring Master Deputy Rusty Larson.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. So a resolution honoring Master Deputy Rusty Lawson, whereas Calhoun County Council wishes to express our appreciation to Master Deputy Rusty Lawson and to honor him for his career with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department. And whereas Master Deputy Rusty Lawson retired after 25 years in law enforcement, concluding with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department. And whereas Rusty Lawson began his career with Bamberg Police Department in May 2001, and whereas he continued his exemplary service in Orangeburg County beginning March 2003, and whereas Master Deputy Lawson started with Calhoun County Sheriff's Office on July 6, 2015, serving under Sheriff Summers, and continued until his retirement on March 17, 2026. And whereas during his time with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, posted guard at the Calhoun County Courthouse, greeting and guiding visitors of the courthouse while ensuring order during court hearings and trials. And whereas Master Deputy Lawson attended and guarded countless council meetings to ensure the safety of council staff and the public. And whereas Calhoun County Council expresses sincere appreciation to Master Deputy Lawson for his loyalty to Calhoun County over the past 10 years and wish him much happiness as he begins this exciting new chapter in his life. Now therefore be it resolved, Calhoun County Council, a political subdivision of the state of South Carolina, honors the great work of the Master Deputy Rusty Lawson. Be it further resolved this 23rd day of March 2026, a copy of this resolution shall be spread across the permanent written records of Calhoun County.
This requires action, correct?
Yes, sir, it does.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve resolution 3-2026.
Second.
Moving second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I just want to say, Mr. Lawson, we really appreciate you being here. Not only have you just come and sat, but you made suggestions on what we need to do and where you need to sit at. And we really appreciate that. I think these days and times now, if you look at news and stuff, we are fortunate here where councils can't almost even meet to discuss the people's business. So we appreciate you here and wish you much success in the future. Thanks again.
Honor and pleasure serving y'all for 6 years here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Center, I think.
Go move it. Oh, move to the
All
front.
council is,
You want us to go here?
What? Oh, all front. Front center.
Tighten up. Okay. Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, again, we'd like to thank Mr. Lawson for the job that he did in protecting us here. I got an old buddy who's gonna be in charge now. Mr. Jimmy Jones. I kind of picked at Jim a little bit and told him that he don't have on sneakers because he and I used to work together at Zeus, and the security guard up there told me that he had on his sneakers because he was gonna be the first one out of there if something happened. So I said, Jimmy don't have on his sneakers, so we appreciate that, Jimmy, already. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Mr. Lawson. Okay, now the new business. Participation in the new national opioid settlement. Approval required, Richard.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. So you may remember we've done 2 of these so far. These are opioid class action settlements. Attorney Charles Whetstone's come and made a couple presentations. We don't have to pay anything to be part of it. It's handled at that level. Some really good things have come out of it. This is Crystal has come and made presentations to you guys on some of the things that they're able to do with opioid prevention, training. We also partner with the Tri-County Commission on Alcohol and Drug Abuse, Mike Dennis, with his team there. And so we're doing some good things. The money is pretty restricted to be used for EMS and opioid related stuff. And so it's been a good thing. Currently, I believe we're collecting a little over $100,000 a year that are going towards this, that we partner with Orangeburg County and Tri-County and ourselves to go in and run these programs. And so this is another program. We're asking for council's approval for us to be able to sign and participate in this piece of the lawsuit.
May I have a motion that we approve the,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve participation in the new national opioid settlement.
Second.
properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Richard, we down to you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I don't really have anything new to add tonight.
Okay. We have several items for executive session, the personnel matter, all departments, and then receipt of legal advice from the county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session for personnel matters in all departments and receipt of legal advice.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. We gonna bring anything out of it? Nothing coming out.
No,
We won't bring anything out. Press me, maybe they won't leave.
Where we meet?
We meet
In here?
We could be in here, yes.
Thank everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.